was he work for like 3 months and gets fired? I mean, anybody that knows him knew that was coming. And yeah, he did. Yeah. And I can't believe anybody kept him around for more than a couple of weeks, to be honest. If it wasn't like remote teleworking and they had to see him every day for 2 weeks, he wouldn't last.
But you know what's funny? You know, he said it, because I don't watch Twitch. I genuinely don't. I didn't even know he was back streaming until he came back over here. I used to watch him a long time ago, back in the day. And I used to be a bit of a fanboy of his at some point until he got too nasty. And I thought, well, I don't like this. Mm. But what's funny is he said it, I don't know, let's say a month ago or 2 months ago when he lost his job. Yeah, I went in there and told them all how to do it, and they didn't like it. I mean, fucking grown man in his 50s thinking he's going to walk into a new environment and try to control everybody. It's baffling to me. When you start somewhere new, you integrate yourself, you talk, but you listen more than you talk. That's sort of common sense, isn't it? But he just came into a new business and told everybody else what they're doing wrong.
He's been like that since he was 20 years old. Never changed. Never changed. He always knows more than everybody else. He can't take criticism. He can't take anybody else's point of view. It's been something he's been incapable of doing since he was really young. I mean, he's made all these terrible accusations in the last couple of months. I'm used to him against me. He's been doing it forever. But then he starts throwing stuff at his sister. That's absolutely over the top. We've been taking care of our mother.
What, on YouTube?
Caregivers for. Pardon me?
What, he's been doing that on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I've seen several of his videos. I mean, is this Sean guy still here? Where you at, Sean? Where you at, buddy?
He's there, muted himself. Yeah. He's there,
yeah,
he's off.
Sean, maybe you ought to talk to have a little showdown with your buddy there, Greg Twitchy, the commander. Ask him where he's been in his mom's life before she passed away in the last 3 years, where my sister and I had no help from him at all. He came back home 6-8 months ago, didn't come see his own mother before she passed away, made terrible videos accusing her of being his own mother, of being the most toxic person in his life because he thought he was out of the will. That's right, Greg. That's right. Aren't you? That's right. You thought you were done. And claiming that my sister and I took his inheritance, just stupid shit, just typical Greg stuff. But he was panicking, and because he's out of money. Everybody knows he's out of money. He knows he's out of money. So once again, Mommy bailed you out, Greg, didn't she, in her death? And she went from the most toxic person, Greg, to the sweetest person ever, huh? Isn't that weird how that happened, guys? In like, what, a 2-week period, he makes a couple of videos? Mm-hmm.
You know what? Not specific to your family, but that happens a lot when people die. Not the bit about not going to see them before, but everybody starts fighting after money, and the people that weren't there start criticizing the people that did all the stuff and help. Because I know when my grandma died, my mom was the one really taking care of her, the one that was close by, and she had her nears and stuff like that. And then people come out of the woodwork trying to get money and stuff like that. It's like, well, where the fuck were you? Why weren't you helping for the last 20 years, kind of thing? It always happens. People are greedy. Sad.
What is that? Who is video? I guess people are changing their app for the.
Let's have a look.
What is that?
Oh, wow. I got a spam message saying I've won a 55-inch Samsung QLD. Great.
Oh,
I don't remember entering a competition.
This guy here. So this guy here is called Jesse. And he used to troll. I actually fell out with this guy because he was trolling Twitchy, and I thought it was too much. I used to quite like Twitchy, and I used to go back at him. There's a guy called Eli the Bike Guy. I don't know if you know him. You remember that guy, Eli the Bike? So I met Eli the Bike Guy in Vietnam, and he was a bit of a snake actually, but he seemed sort of okay until I met him. Then I realized he was a bit of a greasy weirdo. But on his forum, I fell out with Jesse because I was defending Twitchy. But Jesse's hated him for a very long time. Anything to say on that, Jesse?
But
no, I just feel for Mike and his family of how much of a shit they had to deal with all these years. I'm sorry about all that, man. I wish you would have had a better brother, but we all have pain in our lives, and I hate that you've gone through all this with him.
You know what I hate, guys? I hate that all of you are sitting around talking about my brother, and upset about it. Some of you genuinely upset about it because of the nasty shit he said or done to you. It sucks to see this, to see total strangers. I'm family. I mean, I've been dealing with this. My brother's been hating my ass for going on 30 years. But to see all you guys just pretty much minding your own damn business and you get sucked into this vortex, and it's disturbing. It really is. I mean, I hope just seeing my face reminds people that he's not an act. He's not doing it for fun. Greg's not okay. And the fact that people continue to engage with him, God, if you knew, I mean, like hypothetically, if you didn't know somebody had a brain injury, right, and you messed with them and they seemed odd, you made fun of them, whatever, as a kid, and then you realize later, like, oh shit, I was going to high school with a guy who actually had a mental disability. You're like, what was I thinking? You know, you guys. I was going
to ask that. He didn't have like a head injury as a kid, did he? Because a lot of kids that have, head injuries on their frontal lobe, they lose empathy, and Twitchy doesn't really have any empathy. I've noticed that.
Well, I don't know what left that huge dent in the front of his head. I don't know where that came from.
It must have been when he got hit in the head with the microphone after being flashed.
No, that happened. Literally, guys, that happened in the Philippines, I believe, or his first weeks in Thailand.
Oh, really?
Because he didn't, that big ass, whoever's moved that, whatever the hell that divot is on the front of his head, was not there before 2014. Not sure where it came from.
Because if you watch like a lot of these serial killers, most of them have had trauma to the frontal lobe. And they lose. I'm not saying Twitchy's a serial killer, but he doesn't have a lot of empathy for anybody, does he? So I always wondered that.
Guys, I mean, if you saw the scars, I've actually had closed head fractures. I've had TBIs. Unlike Greg, the wannabe commando, I've actually seen some combat myself and been injured and been overseas a lot. And Greg has never done any of these things. He likes talking about it all the time, but he never left. I don't think he left Topeka, Kansas, but that's not an excuse either. If that was the case, I'd be more of a psycho than Greg ever was, because I've had my brain scrambled a couple of times, and there's more to it than that.
Yeah, no, true. I very much appreciate you coming on, and good luck with all your endeavors, and to your family as well, and love to all.
Mike, thanks, folks.
Mike, do you smoke a victory? Do you smoke a victory cigar for a losing battle?
Well, no, I don't, and I certainly don't smoke one before the battle ever takes place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good metaphor.
This is Twitchy's victory cigar from my victory here in Kamala. Yeah. I'm still next door, okay? Let's get over here. Sonny! 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 Right here, man. For all you Sonny supporters that think he's some sort of...
For anybody. Don't smoke this. Don't smoke the cigar before you start the fight. I think that's probably the best. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Better advice is don't fuck with a 5 foot tall Thai lady who owns a bar. She'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Hey, however that went down, I don't know if it was. I don't think it was a woman who was on top of Greg's chest, pounding his face into the ground. But okay, the guy that left a whole bunch of ring marks on Greg's face, and that wasn't a Thai woman that did that. But regardless,
I know, but it's more fun to say it was.
Yeah,
it upsets him more.
She might have got a couple of kicks to his head. I don't know. Yeah, that's coming. I mean, there's a lot of people that have lined up right there to kick Greg in the head, and he earned it. I mean, I don't know how else you could work harder to get your ass kicked than my brother. But,
well, he flew 2 hours and harassed somebody outside their business. It's going to come back to him. In Thailand, you don't fight one person; you fight 5 or 6 people at once. That's how it is out there.
Hey, Capio, if he did that shit in this country, he'd go to jail for it. He'd go to court over it, and he'd either spend time in prison or state prison or whatever, but what he did is felony stalking. And if he pulled that shit in this country to his family or for people over here that he's messed with, yeah, he'd get locked up.
Wow. Cool. Well,
So,
I
yeah.
appreciate you coming on. You're always welcome anytime you want. If you ever start streaming again, please let me know. Pop over and let me know.
All right. You guys take it
Peace
easy.
out, man.
You take care, man.
Cheers, bye.
Cheers, Mike.
Nice talking to you.
Nice
That was a
one.
turn up for the Bucks.
Cool guy.
Yeah, very nice. Very sort of charming and relaxed and just like a decent sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.